Hello, welcome to the
Real Bit Wars.
I'm Chris, and we're already on Chapter 4 of Parting Ways. I hope everyone is enjoying this new series. Just to give you a quick rundown, I'm going to buy, sell, trade different collectibles in order to help me finish off the NES and Super Nintendo sets. I'm getting closer and closer to doing that. So this time around, I decided to sell some things. One of the things I have in my possession that I thought would be a little bit easier to part ways with, a lot of these consoles that I'm going after loose cartridges, I have manuals just kind of sitting around. Don't really use them or anything, don't need them because I'm not going after the manual collection, just the cartridges themselves. So, got rid of 4 manuals, got decent money for them all. One of them was Contra 3 for the Super Nintendo. I got $13 for that, so not bad. And then I got $25 a piece for the Beetlejuice NES manual, Ignition Factor for the Super Nintendo, and Sky Blazer for the Super Nintendo. That's not bad money. Had a little to play around with. There was a game that I just kind of wanted. Just one of those that has always felt a little bit elusive. I just wanted the darn thing, but I didn't quite have enough money to work with. So I had to sell something else. I was looking around through like the old toys and collectibles, and I saw a Johnny Cage Mortal Kombat action figure, very much in the style of the G.I. Joe figures back in the day. Not worth a lot of money, but sold it. I got $14 for that, and that gave me enough money to work with. Almost. Didn't quite have enough. However, if you've been watching, a couple of previous times I had leftover money, so I applied that here, and voila, I had enough to get that game I was eyeing up. So, we're gonna bring the number on up here. I got 3 Ninjas Kickback for the Super Nintendo. Now you might be wondering to yourself, why the heck did you want that one so bad? And again, it just felt elusive. I just couldn't quite get my hands on it. There have been many times over the years where I've tried to bid on it on eBay and things like that, and I've just fallen short. But there's kind of a deeper meaning behind this one for me. I can recall watching that first Three Ninjas movie, and it was a point in my life, I watched it with my younger cousins. They were young enough to appreciate it, but I was kind of entering that sort of transitional period, just sort of approaching my adolescence. And there was that second movie, which this is based off of, Three Ninjas Kick Back, and I can remember that came out, and I rented it one weekend when I was at my dad's house. And it was a bit demoralizing because the movie was terrible, and my stepmom kind of stepped in and she's like, "You're getting too old for this sort of nonsense. From now on, we gotta rent movies that the whole family can enjoy. I don't want to sit through this." Touché. In hindsight, I think she had a point, because I can't imagine an adult trying to sit through that and actually enjoying it. And I definitely was at an age where maybe I didn't need to watch the kids' movies anymore. So not only did this game mock me, the movie does too.
You stupid.
But I did have somewhat high hopes. I don't want to exaggerate here, but there's a game on the Super Nintendo that I really love. And it was published by the same company, which is Sony ImageSoft, and the game is Hook. I actually consider this among my favorites on the Super Nintendo, so much so that I started buying different ports of this. I have the Genesis one, and as a matter of fact, on the Sega CD, there was like a double pack with both of these games together, just to kind of show you they are sort of somewhat tied together. But you can't go wrong with any port of it. The Sega CD one is great. I even have a reproduction of the unreleased Master System game. But for my money, I actually prefer the Super Nintendo one the most.
Let's murder
So I was kind of hoping that just maybe this one would be okay. So I will say, when you pop the cartridge in, you're immediately met with a bit of frustration. There's an Indiana Jones style boulder that rolls at you the moment you start moving. It left me a little bit disoriented. There's a barrage of projectiles and enemies coming at you at all times. I didn't notice these spike pits. It's difficult to pay attention, so I was constantly taking damage. I've only just tried it, gave this first level a whirl. It's not good. I don't really like it. I'm somewhat hopeful that maybe the later levels will get better, but all indications point that this is your stereotypical subpar licensed game of its day. So I was kind of hoping for more Hook. Didn't get that. I will say, though, the aforementioned Skyblazer is very much more of Hook. This actually runs on the same engine, and it's a very similar game. So if you enjoy Hook, I recommend checking out Skyblazer. But Three Ninjas Kickback, on the other hand, I can't in good conscience recommend this one. But I can say this. I'm really excited to have it, and having this Super Nintendo collection down to 40 games feels like a bit of a milestone. So I'm happy about that. Thank you for watching.